got the alcoholic blues. No more beer, my heart don't care. Goodbye, whiskey, you used to make me frisky. So long, highball, so long, gin. Oh, tell me when you're coming back again. Blues, I've got the blues since they amputated my blues. Lordy, Lordy, war is well. You know, I don't have to tell. Oh, I've got the alcoholic blues, some blues. Prohibition, that's the name. Prohibition drives me insane. I'm so thirsty, soon I'll die. I simply grind, evaporate, I just that dry. I wouldn't mind to live forever in a train. If my thirst had only let me quench, and not with Bevo or ginger ale. I want real stuff by the pail.
Welcome to Speak Uneasy, a safe space where cancel culture does not exist because we are in a different prohibition era.
Good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Speak Uneasy with your host, the bartender. Tonight's random read is going to come off of the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verses 1 through 4. Jesus heals a leper. When he was come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. And behold, there came a leper, and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean. And Jesus put forth his hand, and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. And Jesus said unto him, See thou tell no man, but go thy way, shew thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded, for a testimony unto them. Once again, this random read comes from the book of Matthew, chapter 8, verses 1 through 4. Jesus heals a leper. I'm having quite of a rough time this evening. Right before the stream started, I'm a hypoglycemic. So I started getting the whole jittery thing going on right now. So if I kind of sound like I'm out of it, I had some ice cream to kind of, I don't know, I guess you can say, get me back stable, but I'm still a little bit jittery. So if I talk with no sense at all, I apologize. That's kind of why I was kind of late to start the stream as well. So please forgive me. Let's see who's up in the bar this evening. Oh, by the way, if there's anybody listening on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube and Twitch, good evening and welcome to the bar. For those of you listening on other platforms, if you hear me referring to certain people, it's because my hub that I hang out at most of the time is on pill.net or foxhole.app. So, just don't get confused about me talking to people in the chat. Usually that's going to be where my hub is, at the foxhole.app or pill.net. You might want to check out this platform as well. It's a pretty cool platform. A bunch of patriotic people, and a bunch of God-fearing people as well. So yeah, please do come by. Do come by. And also for my viewers here, my viewers slash listeners here on Foxhole and Pilled, if the stream happens to just bug out on us, don't be afraid to check me out on any of those other platforms as well. So it goes both ways. Once again, I'm on Twitch as the Speak Uneasy 20. I am on Twitter Live. I'm on Facebook Live, and I am also on YouTube. Anyhow, let me go ahead and refer to the chats here at the bar this evening, as I do see a couple of my regulars here. Whiskey Blue, good evening to you, sir. Thank you for coming by. Kiss, always a pleasure to see you around here. Thank you so much for your presence. Let's see. Whiskey Blue says, hump day. Happy hump day, everybody. Yes, it is. Kiss, good evening to you as well. Thank you for dropping the link right there, Kiss. Thank you so much for helping me out. Ziggy, seems like a new person here in the bar. Nonetheless, welcome in. Welcome in. All the beautiful people here. Absolutely. All right. So tonight's cocktail, I'll be making, oh gosh, how do I pronounce this? Hold on for a moment. I got to see the pronunciation of this cocktail that I'm making this evening. Okay, so apparently this is, it's called Ninochka. And I guess in Russian, since we're Russian bots here, right? I guess that means like granddaughter, maybe, I think. Like little girl, granddaughter, something to that effect. So yeah, I'll be making that cocktail. Very interesting. I did not find any history on the cocktail itself, but nonetheless, it seemed like a very interesting cocktail to make, as it's very easy to make as well. So, hey, what's going on, the Grouch? Man, thank you for coming to check my show out, man. Thank you so much. I know we've gone back and forth on Twitch a couple of times on NPC Show's channel, and I'm glad to have you here this evening, man. Thank you so much, and also thank you so much for the cookie as well. Thank you. Man, it's growing, man. This is great. This is great. Okay, so we're going to start off here with, we're going to go an ounce and a half of vodka. And what proper way than to have a Stiloknaya vodka bottle in hand to use it for one of the ingredients here. So let's go ahead and pour an ounce and a half of Stiloknaya vodka here into the shaker. I got to be careful because last week when I made cocktails here, it was just a mess. It was just a mess. Okay, so there's 1 ounce there. Half an ounce there. Next ingredient that we're going to pour into this thing is a half ounce of creme de cacao. Never had this before. I'm assuming it's some kind of chocolate liqueur, although it's clear. It's clear as water. It smells like chocolate. All right, let's go ahead and put a half ounce of creme de cacao into the shaker. All right, there we go. Into the shaker it goes. Next we're gonna do is put a half ounce of lemon juice. We're gonna use a fresh lemon for this one. Actually, this lemon's a little bit old, but nonetheless, it's still good to use. So I'm squeezing half a lemon right now, which, I mean, with the size of the lemon that I have, it's going to be equivalent to about a half ounce. So using that. And I'm putting the strainer right over the shaker as I'm squeezing the lemon juice out. Now we're going to go ahead and add ice into the shaker. Oh, so okay. So prior to the show starting, I did chill my glass. So I'm not going to be putting ice into this glass. All right. Now, here we go. For the shake. I'm kind of excited to try this cocktail. All right, let's go ahead and double strain this over the glass. Man, that it looks clear because obviously both liquors are clear, no color to it. Let me nose this thing. Okay, it's got a bit of a citrus, the lemon citrus. Now for the taste. It's not bad. It's not something that I would normally order, but it's not bad. I think part of it's because I had some ice cream prior to going live. As I said earlier, that I was kind of having like a low blood sugar thing going on, so I had to get something sweet in order to stabilize me. But it's not a bad tasting cocktail. It's hard for me to get a description on it because I still taste the ice cream that I ate prior to it. But nonetheless, it doesn't taste bad. I mean, that's as much as I can give a description. You can taste the vodka and the lemon juice. It's not bad though. It's not bad. And you know, if you guys been here long enough, you know that I'm more of a Scotch whiskey bourbon type of person. So yeah, that's probably why this is not something that I would normally order. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, the Nanuchka. I don't know how to say cheers in Russian, but cheers. All right. Wow, it looks like we're having a party up in the chats. Everybody's throwing like hats and everything. Let's see. The Grouch79 says, "Good evening, friends." And everybody's just talking with each other. Cool. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start off tonight with our the purpose for the show, right? This is news with a question mark. This is news. So let me go here to the article bank that I have here, and the reason why I'm laughing because here we go. here we go with the things that I guess the media would consider news nowadays. Here's our first article for the night. This is I went to my go-to as well, socialjustice.news, which is a news aggregate of a bunch of collectively stupid news articles. This one was written by, it says here, news editors on January 25th of this year. Article reads, Realtor.com censors crime map on its database in, quote, an effort to avoid penalizing Black and Latino communities. Okay. You see that big R word right there? I have to kind of watch what I say because the algorithm on these other platforms might just cut me off. So I may be speaking in phonetic alphabet here. It says here, article by Paul Kersey and republished by uns.com. All right. Another real estate website has declined not to add crime data to their database. Well, don't you think that that's one of the main things that people would look at when they're making a purchase in a certain neighborhood or, for a home? That would, like, for me, when I made my purchase for my home, absolutely the crime rate. Not to mention the school district. And also the convenience of how everything is set up as far as like stores and all that kind of stuff. Roads, everything. All in an effort to avoid penalizing Black and Latino communities. Well, the community that I live in is full of a whole bunch of mixtures. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Where are we at? Realtor.com nixes crime map in an effort to promote fair housing. The listing site will find other ways to integrate safety data in the upcoming months. The Real Deal, December 15th, 2021. Pardon me, ladies and gentlemen. I just have to go on my monitor screen here real quick. Okay. Home shoppers viewing listings on Realtor.com might notice something missing. The website has removed the crime map layer from all of its research results. The move made earlier this month in an effort to avoid penalizing Black and Latino communities, according to the company. Man, this has gone amok. Let's face it, man. This has gone amok with race, hasn't it? You can't call things for what they are anymore. You really can't. And I'm not saying anything about certain races. I'm just saying that if crime rate is high in a certain community, then you can't hide that. That it is what that is. And I hate saying it is what it is, but that's basically what it is most of the time. Where was I? Realtor.com decided to here we go. You see how they put these in quotes? Rethink the safety information on listings in order to provide fair and accurate neighborhood data for home buyers. Well, wouldn't that be part of it? The crime rate, right? CEO David Doctorow wrote in a post this week, historically, our industry has rated neighborhoods using metrics that what? I'm sorry. This is how the show is. Like I report. Look, I'm not reporting. I'm reacting to these articles. Okay, so if you came here for some serious news, it's 50% serious because this is what is being reported on. The other 50 is just like I can't believe it, which is why the title of the show is called "This is News with a question mark." Okay, so I hope you didn't come here for serious news. I'm here just to mock news as it's news. The metrics that unfairly penalizes communities of color. Dude, what the hell, man? Doctorow said, we can all do a better job explaining the facts in a way that does not unfairly penalize neighborhoods, towns, and cities. Well, you know what? I actually have a solution for that. Where it's not race-based. But, of course, people are going to be looking at it as race-based. Okay, if you look at the statistics and in a lot of high-crime area homes, think about if there's a father present. Think about that. And that's not race based, is it? I mean, if you're in a particular neighborhood and you don't have a father figure at home who's supposed to be disciplining their kids and also steering their kids in the right direction, I mean, of course, it takes both parents, but usually it's the father. Since the father is, quote, the head of the household, it's usually the father's laying down the law in the house. Because I know in my household, when I need to freaking lay down the law with my kid, or my child, rather, I let it be known. So, I think that homes that are fatherless or have broken homes usually tend to have a high percentage of the kid making bad decisions. So, I don't know. That's not race-based, is it? The site plans to spend the next few months figuring out new ways to integrate safety data on its platform. The company declined to comment beyond the CEO's posted explanation. Doctorow said he was struck by stories about the hurdles Black, Hispanic, and Asian homebuyers face, whether it be racial steering or discrimination in the appraisal and mortgage process, which is bullshit. I'm Asian. Like, where are they getting this information from? Because I didn't experience any of that. I didn't. So that's just flat out bullshit. Let's just put it this way. I'm Asian, but in first sight, you probably think I'm Latino. So I can fall into either category as far as like first look. So I've never experienced anything like that. Never. As far as like the home buying process, have I faced situations where I felt treated differently because of my race? Possibly. But for most of my life, like, unless I was oblivious to signs, I haven't experienced. There's been a few moments, but I called them out for what they were, flat out at that time. Anyhow, let me continue with this. We know that a person's home can affect many other things: their education, their health, the opportunities they and their children will have in life, Doctorow said. Housing segregation. What segregation, dude? The neighborhood I live in. Look, I'm not saying I live in a rich neighborhood. I mean, it's a suburban neighborhood. It's suburban. I guess you can. Yeah, I guess I can say that. We got a whole mix of people around here, man, and they all seem to be really great people. There's nobody rude, There's nobody like looking at other people weird because of whatever race they are. No. There's nothing like that going on around, at least in this block. Housing segregation is interconnected with other social and racial equity challenges, he added. Nixing crime maps is one of a handful of steps Doctorow said the industry should take to promote fair housing. What do you mean by fair housing, dude? You want to be fair? If you want fair housing, then lower the damn prices down. If you really, maybe I can use race as a way to get a cheaper home. I don't know. What do you think? Others include incentivizing agents to represent properties valued at $150,000 and lower, and improving transparency on and education to remove bias from appraisals and lending. But that's part of it. People want to look for a good neighborhood to raise their child. I mean, if they're a family, that's one of the things that they look for. They look for a great neighborhood so they can raise their children with no problems. I don't know what. There's nothing wrong with putting out the crime rate. I don't think so. But what do I know? I don't work for Realtor.com, so I don't know. We cannot let more years go by and accept the same iniquities to persist in our industry. Well, the price, dude. How about the prices of homes? I mean, it's okay for it to be high if I'm the seller, but if I'm the buyer, no, I want that low. But that's not the world we live in. Consider this an open invitation to senior leaders in real estate to come together to agree and on meaningful ways to address fair housing in our country. Yeah. Don't sell the freaking houses too damn expensive. How about that? Sorry. Had to take a swig. No need to invent the wheel, but what if the offenders of crime are actually young male and black? Reality has a well-known racial bias. No attempts to blame on white privilege can overcome. By the way, for my white listeners out there, what is white privilege? Because I really don't know what that is. If you can explain what that is, could you please tell me? I'm Asian. I don't even know what that means because, like I said, my best friend is white, and I ask him, and he doesn't even know what that is. We are witnessing a communist coup in America. Yes, we are. Anybody agree with this? We are witnessing a communist coup in America, where attempts to be honest about race and crime must be met with censorship because perpetuating stereotypes is a greater sin than actually reporting the demographic responsible for most crimes in America. That's the state that we're in right now. I mean, that's just the way, and I don't want to accept it for what that is. I don't. I really don't. I'm going to have an amateur moment right here, right now. Because as I take you back to the bar, my intro song is going to play again, and I should have killed it right when I turned my mic on. So give me a minute. Give me a moment here. Okay. I apologize for that. I should be more professional. So we're back in the bar right now. So since we're back in the bar, why don't I start preparing a cocktail for y'all? All right. As we go back to the bar here, let me go back to the chats and see what is going on. And like I said, for you listeners out there, if there's any of you guys out there, because I don't know, more than likely I see probably like one. I think the best I ever had was 2 on Twitch. Everything else was kind of like 1 or 0. But it's all good. It's all good. For those of you on Facebook Live, Twitter Live, YouTube, and Twitch, like I said, if I'm referring to specific people in the chat rooms is because my hub that I usually observe the most, because this is where most of my listeners are, is on foxhole.app and pilled.net. So here we go. Pepe's headquarters. Hey, never seen you around here, but nonetheless, welcome to the bar. It's very nice to see you around here. He says penalizing for their own actions. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just reading the article. And you got to ask the people at Realtor.com because they're the ones who came up with this stupid thing to begin with. As far as I can only speak for me here, okay, as far as what I'm going to say. Like when I'm shopping for a home, I want to make sure that the neighborhood that I'm moving to is not a high crime neighborhood. And I don't care about the race part. Like that's not even on a priority list of me looking for homes. I look for of course, a very nice, a nice, decent place that I can afford. And then on top of that, I'll want to know, like, how's the school district? Is the school district like full of smart kids or average kids or a bunch of dummies? Because I don't want my girl my daughter going, but then again, she doesn't go to school. She's homeschool, and she's been homeschooled since kindergarten. But that's beyond the point. I look for places that are a good environment for my child to grow up in, because my daughter is going to interact with these kids who go to these schools, and I don't want my daughter being influenced, because when with kids, they're easily influenced by other kids because they want to be accepted. That's just the way childhood is, right? So I don't want my child being surrounded by a bunch of thug kids or troublemakers. And I was one of those kids before. I admit, more like a follower instead of, I don't initiate thuggery. I did not initiate thuggery. I was more of the follower part, but I just don't want my child going through that. I'm not trying to use me having a broken home as an excuse, but that's just the way it was, because there was no direction, for one, and then for two, there was nobody to lay down my mom laid down the whooping when she had to, but most of the time she was gone because she was always at work. But you guys get what I'm saying. Like, the demographics of what race lives in that's not your priority. Your priority is the whole area in general. Like, you want to know how the school district is. You want to know the convenience of grocery stores or any types of stores that you need to buy stuff. You want to see not only that, but the roads, because you want to have access to main streets, right? And also restaurants. That's the kind of stuff that you look for, and also, you want something that's very beautiful, of course, right? That's part of the home buying process. You don't go to the realtor and say, okay, well, why don't you tell me what race of people live in this neighborhood? Like, that's stupid. Who does that? You know what I'm saying? That's not a priority. I don't know, man. That's I don't know, that's the way I look for houses, dude. Like, I look at the general area on how it is, how beautiful it looks. Can I afford it? School district is a big deal, because, like I said, even if your kid does not go to that particular school district, you just don't want your kid hanging around with bad influence, kids that are bad influence. But bad influence kids are in every economic They're all over the place. It doesn't matter what economic status they're in. They're bad influence people are going to be everywhere in life. Let's see. The Grouch says, "What? I thought you were Jamaican." No, man. I'm not Jamaican, man. But you're making me thirsty to drink this cocktail. You see what I did there? All right. Kiss, thank you for dropping that link again. The Grouch says, it's when you ask for the manager. It's about time. I'm parched. Look good for schools. Absolutely. Hey, he skimped on that shot. Oh, did he? Well, we're going to have to fix that, because now what we're going to do now is we're going to express the oils on the cocktail. You like that? You like that? All right. Let me set this up for the next article here. Man, there's a lot of like stupid things going on here as far as the news that I dig up, but the quote news, sometimes I don't even believe that this stuff is news, but nonetheless, this is what's being reported. You know what I'm saying? Okay, here we go. Let me, let's go back to the news here. Well, let's go back to the articles of news and react to them. All right, here we go. socialjustice.news, once again, because like I said, this is a news aggregate. It's a collection of different articles from different news outlets. This one was written on the 23rd of this month of this year by Ethan Huff. Article reads, children being groomed, brainwashed by the Charlie cult. You see what I did there? Because I just don't want to be like from other platforms. Brainwashed by the Charlie cult to persecute unbelievers. You like that? Look at that picture. You see that kid? How many of you people see kids like that, man? Every time I see kids like that, I shake my head. And it's not my right to say anything because it ain't my kid, you know? So shame on the parents that do this to their children. All right. A horrific video clip is circulating the internet of a television show in Quebec, Canada, where two young children, obviously propagandized, tell all about how they got victored for the Wuhan Charlie virus. Charlie Victor 19, and want the unvaccinated to go to jail for refusing to join them. Dude, kids now are saying that. Kid ever said something to me like that, man? I'll be like, this mother, you know what I'm saying? The clip begins with a female host asking two young children, possibly sister and brother, pardon me, about whether they got their jabs in order to travel. Speaking of trips, do you guys have your vaccines? The host asks. Yes, both of us have a single dose, the young girl responds. Oh yeah? And do you agree with mandatory vaccination? Why does it matter with these kids' opinions? They're just kids. Like, what have they experienced in their life to give their opinion that holds any kind of water? The host responds, baiting a predetermined answer with this inappropriate question. Yes, both children respond as the camera pans to show them distance. What? Well, go ahead, man, because what you're doing is you're psychologically screwing these kids. You know, that's what you're doing. You're making it seem that it's normal to be distanced. Like, I can understand personal space. That's one thing. Personal space is one thing, but like, I don't know. As human beings, we're made to like socialize with each other. And sometimes socializing includes a handshake, maybe a pat on the back, or I don't know, something to that effect, a hug, right? Or if you're dating, or if you're married, maybe possibly kissing or having sex. I don't know. Holding hands. Distanced from one another on the couch, presumably by about 6 feet. It looks like I've drilled them, Julie, interjects an excited obese woman. And it's always these obese women, right? Basically admitting that she groomed the children beforehand to offer up their politically correct answers. Why should they even have any kind of, like I said, who cares? They're kids. Like, what have they gone through in their life to form an opinion that actually matters? You know, and I say this to my daughter all the time because, you know, when I tell her to do something and she starts chirping back, and I'm like, I ask her, how old are you? And she tells me her age, and I tell her, okay, well, I'm 45. You're this age. Who do you think has experienced life more, you or me? And then she gives me that look of, oh shit, I fucked up, which is a common thing in this household with her now. Being that she's 10, of course she's at that age where it's in between breaking away from childhood to preteen age. She's actually, I would say, preteen now. So it's getting harder. But anyways, the point that I'm trying to make here is, why are all these people giving such, so much power for these kids to have any kind of opinion that holds any water when they themselves have not experienced life? They don't even know what the hell paying a bill is. I don't know. I don't think they do. They probably think that Bill is a guy. Oh boy. And what should we do with those who refuse to get vaccinated? The first female host then asks, "We should call the police." The young boy responds with a smile on his face, "Well, I'll tell you what, little boy. Shame on the cop who arrests anybody for not getting vaccinated." You know what I'm saying? Because let's just say, for argument's sake, that if I was still a cop, if I was still a sheriff's deputy, and the sheriff says, "Okay, now I'm going to have you arrest somebody who's not vaccinated," I'm going to say, you know what? Why don't you do it yourself? Because here's my badge, here's my gun, I'm done. If I was still working in the same line of work. Like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. If they don't have their vaccine, it can put a lot of people in danger. Oh, really? Well, how about the other vaccines, like, what was it? The mumps, measles, and rubella. How about that vaccine? I don't see a bunch of people dying from that. I got those vaccines when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure there are people out there who haven't. And I've made contact. Like, I haven't heard anybody of dying from measles, mumps, or rubella. These kids, man. And I blame the parents. You know, these parents should be smacked up the head. And then it needs to trickle down to the kids, because these kids, they have a mouth on them sometimes. They really do. These kids have a mouth on them because they learn that shit from their effed up parents. The young girl then adds to the young boy's response, "So, as the government is currently doing, we must restrict them little by little until they get tired of it and get victored." Gosh, man. After the little girl gets done spewing all this, the hosts all start cheering and clapping along with the audience clap track. They don't even have a real audience. They have to conjure one up. Oh my goodness, man. Should I play that video? We'll see later. I don't feel like, I really don't feel like looking at these kids and making me get all worked up. And yeah, I just know, yeah, we'll skip the video. Besides, they're little kids. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Woke cultists want all children confused. Wait, what? Where are we at? Okay. I guess this is part of the article. I don't know. Woke cultists want all children confused about their gender and fully injected with Finocchio's chemicals. The grooming tactics being deployed on children to brainwash them into supporting the persecution of their neighbors and even family members over Charlie injections are the same ones used at schools to promote the Lima Golf Bravo Tango Quebec agenda. I'm not going to say that. I'm like I said, because I'm streaming on other platforms, I have to be crafty on how I word these things. Confusing children about about which gender they are and which bathroom to use is no different than confusing them about Finocchio's flu injections and telling them that everyone is going to die unless everyone gets jabbed. Well, kids, I have bad news for you. The cycle of life is you live, then you die. So either way, you're going to die. I'm just saying, I mean, you can do anything, you can do things to prevent it, but the cycle of life is just going to be the cycle of life, regardless of you liking it or not. You're going to live, then you're going to die. So instead of worrying about getting these injections, why don't you just enjoy your life? Enjoy your life. Be kind to other people. Instead of telling people how to live their own life, live your own. Why? I never got that. I don't understand why people would tell you how to live your own life. Like, dude, live your life the way you want to live your life. Don't be worrying about what the F I be doing. To use children to further the insanity of the so-called victors is perverse. Yes, it is. And a form of child abuse. Oh, yeah, it absolutely is. Expressed a Brighteon user in response to the video above. This is absolutely pathetic, wrote another. Turning children against adults is a recipe for future disaster. Exactly, dude. Like, these kids are going to think that they have authority over adults. Like, hell no, dude. I grew up in a time where I was supposed to be respecting my elders. You know what I'm saying? And even to this day, I still respect my elders. I still do. Because I wouldn't want some little punk telling me what to do. My daughter tries that on me, but she knows what happens. Another pointed out that this type of thing has been going on for decades. First, there was outcome-based education, which turned into, quote, woke mob indoctrination. Exactly. I agree with that. It's still going on now. And it's up to the parents. Like, okay, so here, let me finish this. Which has now turned into branch Covidianism. I like how they wrote that. Branch Covidianism disguised as, quote, science and education. Okay, so here's my thing. And I know there's still a little bit more left for the article, but I want to interject this, okay? Because it's not I think. I know that there's a lot of parents out there not even looking into what their kids are studying. I know that they're not observing what their kids are studying. Like, you need to be vigilant about what your kids are studying, because if you're not and you only care about what kind of grade they get, you got problems. Like, oh, my kid is getting an A, but did you know that they're teaching your kid that being in that alphabet group is normal? I mean, you have to observe what the kids are studying. You do. You have to be on top of it. And that's a good advantage of my daughter doing her homeschooling / online studies here at home. Because we get to listen to what the teacher is teaching about. And I got to say, like, I am very, very satisfied with the program that my daughter is going through. And I'm not getting any kind of sponsorship through them. I'm only giving this as a testimony because they have done a great job on what they should be teaching the kids. Because I listen to it sometimes, and I even help my daughter sometimes with her homework, and I start learning. I start to say, oh, this is what I haven't paid attention to in school, or this is, I never learned this in school. And my daughter studies, she's going through the program called Freedom Project Academy. It's an online school, and they're accredited. Like, you'll get accreditation for your child's regular schooling. It's a great program. It's a very great program. They do the Pledge of Allegiance. They teach Christian Judeo stuff, which is good, which is very good. I'm absolutely satisfied on what they've been teaching my child, and because my son was he was from the public school system from kinder all the way to when he graduated high school. And so when I do the comparison, dude, my daughter's way ahead. The problem is, though, she's my daughter. And if you guys are new to this channel, like I've said this before, I was a horrible student. I hate schoolwork. I hate school. That was just me. And now she's, it shows that she is the fruit of my tree because she hates school. But, she's done very good. She's done very good, and she's being taught very well about good things, true history. And even I would delve into those books too, because I have to help her with her homework sometimes. And I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that happened, So it's a good refresher from. Well, I wouldn't say refresher because I didn't even pay attention to begin with. But I'm learning too, so I think it's a great program. Anyways, let me continue on this. And this is what happens, at least for this show. Like I'll read something and then go off on a tangent, or even stay on the subject, but talk smack about what I'm reading, and then come back to the article. So I'm sorry if I'm bouncing back and forth. It's like having a conversation with you guys. Where does it all end? Unfortunately, there does not appear to be an end as long as parents keep on sending their little ones to the government. And this is what I was just talking about. And I didn't even read this article prior to this. You see how this works? Man, I know. Sending their little ones to the government indoctrination centers known as public schools. And, I have to say that, at least for my son, even though he went through the public school system, okay, so I would drop off my son every day to school, right? Every day. And mind you, this is when I used to live in California. So that's like 10 times more worse, right? Because it's California. And Southern California, I would add. And, every time I would drop him off, I would have, because I used to listen to InfoWars and Alex Jones a lot when I was, years ago. Like religiously, I would listen to his show religiously. And so I think having that on while dropping him to school, or even having discussions about what's being talked about on InfoWars or whatever, I would have conversations with my son and ask him, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And, of course he'd be like, he didn't realize all the stuff happening until he went to JC. I told him I was against him going to college. I wanted him to go to the military, and I wanted him to pursue other things. And, I wanted him to go to the military to get one, life experience, because that makes you mature faster. And then two, like if you decide you want to go to college, dude, the military will pay for it. So that's what I kind of wanted my son to do. But he's my son. He didn't listen to me. What does he do? He goes to JC. He takes these classes, and then he says, Dad, you're right. I said, well, of course I know I'm right. I'm your dad. I know a lot more than you do. So I told him, since now that you're in JC, you got to play the game if you want to have a good grade. You got to play the game, but never, ever, ever take their word for what they're saying. You have to have the responsibility to dig the truth yourself. That's what you got to do. You can play their stupid games in order for you to get this whatever grade you need to get, so you can get that stupid paper that says you're, quote, educated. And that's another problem in its own. Why do you need to go to school to show everybody that you're have some kind of intelligence? Because, look, I was a sheriff's deputy, and I worked with people who had bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, but there's really nothing going on up there, I'm just saying. Actually, it might be a good idea for the FBI to arrest and charge all parents with terrorism who have not removed their children from the American education. I don't know about that. Suggested a reader at Natural News about an alternative approach to this problem. It is a matter of fact that sending children to public schools these days is a form of child abuse. Instead of learning, reading, writing, and arithmetic, many of them are learning about how all white people are evil and how there is no such thing as male and female. Case in point in what I said. Case in point in what I said. If you're not paying attention to what your kids are learning, that's your fault. You got no one to you cannot blame the public school system because you chose to not pay attention to what your kids are learning. That's just my take on it. It's my take, you know. It's a harsh truth, but it's a truth that needs to be heard nonetheless. All right, let's go back to the bar, guys. Still expressing them oils, are we? All right, let me go back here and see what's going on here at the bar. Okay, I have to find out where I left off here. Let's see. Oh, wow, J-Bell's in here. Hey, what's going on, girl? Nice to see you. Thank you for coming into the bar. Thank you so much. Matter of fact, I'll even make a cheers to you. Here you go, girl. Cheers to you. I see Danica Sandals is in the bar as well. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Whiskey Blue says they've created a whole generation of hypochondriacs. Well, I wouldn't say they created. I think I would say that it's... Look, the truth of the matter is the parents have they have a choice. They have a choice on what they want, how they want their kids educated, okay? And I'm saying this because I made that choice. Was it a hard choice when my daughter first started school? It wasn't that difficult of a choice because for one, my wife, she's a stay-at-home wife. She's always been that way. And I've always, like, when I first met, even in my irresponsible days, I still had a little conservatism in me because I told her from the get-go, like, one day I don't want you to work and just take care of the kids. And I said this as an irresponsible guy who got married and had a kid at 23 years old. You know, I still had that little I don't know thing of some kind of common sense, right? even though I was still messing around at that age with all this stupid foolery that young 20-year-olds do, especially a male. So I wouldn't say that it's they. If you're referring to the public school system, it's not them, it's the parents, because they have the choice whether or not to put their child in an environment like that. Are there sacrifices that families have to make? Yes, there are. There absolutely is. But you have to think that everything you choose to do comes with a price. And if you choose to put your kids in a public school system, then you've chose what your priority is for you. Like for me, was money kind of a thing? Yeah, it kind of was, but at the same time I was making great money before, you know, so it didn't faze me none. I was like, yeah, go ahead. My wife is a stay-at-home wife and she can absolutely, like, we can do it. But, you know, how important is it to you as a parent? Like, how valuable is your child's education to you? What are you willing to give up in order for your kid to advance? Because the way I look at it, if you really love your kid and if you really care about the future of your kid, then you will be willing to make those sacrifices that you have to in order for your kid to advance and make this a better country or even a better world at that, you know? So that's just, I don't know, you know, it comes with a price, and it's a hard decision to make for some. But you got to understand that at the end of it all, you're going to eventually pay for it. You're going to eventually pay for it. Not only that, but your child will pay for it or not, you know, Or, well, I take that back. Your child will eventually pay for it, because the majority of parents are not thinking, they're not thinking like that. You know? They're not thinking that. They're not thinking like, they're not thinking about that at that moment. They're thinking about financial stuff. And, you kind of have to separate yourself from the whole financial part sometimes, because the more valuable thing is the priority, is the priority of quality for your kid. Because if your kid doesn't get that quality, how is there a future? How is there a future without that quality of quality knowledge? Now, I'm not talking about social justice knowledge. I'm talking about quality knowledge, like actual science, actual math, all that stuff, engineering. How do you get quality from that if you're going to compromise the present moment because you either can't afford it, or one of you as a parent can't like just cut your time with work and focus more on your child? Like, if you choose to have a child, man, like you got to be concerned about their future too, you know? And in order for the future to be better, like, you have to change shit now in order for it to get better later. You can't just freaking wing it now and then decide to change shit later on, because by the time later comes around, it's too late. You know? I don't know. I have a very different way of thinking of these things, because I incorporate a lot of the quote truth that I was seeking earlier in my years into how I raised my family. And if it took for me to like work overtime to pay for my daughter's school, then I'm gonna do it, man, because the quality, like, the changes have to happen now, so then the changes later on doesn't have to be that difficult, you know. But now I'm beginning to spew a little bit of truths to my daughter, man, and it shouldn't be that way, but that's just the world we live in now. So yeah, that's just I wish I can agree with that statement with you, Whiskey, but honestly, if parents are really concerned, if adults like us are really concerned, then we have to make those sacrifices for our kids to advance. And I'm talking about getting better education. And I'm not talking about wokeism either. I'm talking about actual stuff they should be learning, you know? And, that's going to prep them to be great leaders too, you know? Start with the basics, man. Like, don't lie and stuff like that, because if that sticks with them throughout their whole life, can you imagine a politician not being selfish and lying and cheating and all this stuff? Can you imagine that? I can't because of the world that I'm living in now. Anyways, the Grouch79 says, sipping on cocoa lemon drink, easy made. It's called Ninichka. I believe it's called Ninichka. Let's see here. Thank you so much, Grouch, for the cookies, man. Thank you so much, man. You're just off the hook with those cookies. Thank you so much. Thank you for the dropping the links there, Kiss. Thank you so much, man. Everybody's just interacting with each other here. That's cool. That is cool. J Bell says, my ex-husband was like, nah, how about work 3 jobs? Yeah, I had only one, but that one was enough for me to make more than enough. But my problem was, I would work overtime I was a whore when it came to overtime, and I paid for it. I freaking paid for it. I paid for it. I almost lost my family twice to my job. I'm very blessed. Whatever God is doing to me right, like in my lifetime, like He's been protecting me, because I almost lost my family a total of 3, maybe 4 times. And the first time was because I was young and I was messing up. You know, I wasn't faithful. And then the other 2 or 3 times was because of work. Because I was barely home. I was always out working. And to top things off, the type of job I had and the shifts that I worked, like, you know, I wasn't jiving at home. I had to use going to work to get away from my family. That's how bad it was, at least for me. And I had to rethink my whole life, you know, and what was important to me. And to me, because I grew up in a broken home where I didn't have both mom and dad, I had to change that. Part of that change was me quitting my job, because for the last 2 years I was flying back and forth between here and California to do freaking cop work in California, and of all places to do cop work, a liberal state that gives more rights to criminals as opposed to victims. Try fighting that battle. It's a shitty battle. The Grouch says, right, okay, he's talking to Pony. D. Nicky says, thanks, love. 3 jobs? Dang. Yeah, dang. Well, I used to, you know, when I was younger, I had to be a man and take 3 jobs too. I had to, because I had to provide. Whiskey says, I was talking about the fear of germs, viruses, death, and belief in masks, distancing, vaccine, fears of others being virus. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah, no. I can agree with that statement for sure. I thought you were talking about the other thing. But, I mean, that just, I still stand by what I say. Not an argument with you, but just a message to parents who think that these problems are going to be fixed some way, somehow, if they don't direct their kids in the right direction. You know, it starts when you're young, man, and that's one thing that the, you know, these liberals have been doing, man. They're they're prepping their kids. They're prepping them at a young age, and we should be doing that too to our kids, but not in a way where it's brainwashing. It's to steer them in the right direction and give them great direction. You know, that's. You know, I don't think that's brainwashing them. I think that's trying to produce a productive person in society and a good person in society, you know? But I can absolutely agree with what you said, Whiskey. I wasn't trying to argue with you. I was just saying that I was just trying to make a point, and I probably read your question, your statement wrong. Hey, what's up, Crane Up? Thanks for coming by. Thank you for the gold pills, brother. Justice and freedom, brother. Absolutely. Tracy said, hey, what's going on, Tracy PCB? Thanks for coming by. I witnessed a family at Golden Corral in mask and plastic gloves last night. I don't know what to say about that. If you got a whole family that's like that, I mean, okay, so, you know, a lot of you guys know that I used to fly back and forth every week, right? I used to fly back and forth every week between Texas and California. So I have, you know, I see a lot of weird shit because you know, in the airports. The airports are a good place to see like a lot of weirdos. I mean, I would see people wearing face shields with masks and gloves. And then when they get into the airplane in their seat, they wipe the whole thing with these disinfected wipes, and just all freaking weirded out, man. And here I am looking at him, right? And I'm thinking to myself, just put a plastic bag over your head and just tie it in the neck part and just tie it as tight as you can, okay? Because if you can't breathe, like, how are you going to live? I don't know. Oh, hilarious. That's hilarious. I would laugh at him. I would just straight out laugh at him. And they'll be wondering what the hell's wrong with you. And then in your brain, you'll be like, no, what the hell is wrong with you? The Grouch says, Didichka sounds like she's hot. No, it's called Ninichka. Tracy PCB says, if you are that scared, why did you go to corral? Apparently they're hungry. Looks like you got to take your mask off now. I'm just saying. Oh my goodness. WC says money can't buy you time, brother. Was a choice I made. Regret not ever. Not ever. You know, I made that decision a lot. Me just walking away from my job, and I looked at it this way. I was like, look, dude, I was gonna do another 5 more years, because if I did another 5 more years, I would have been good. Like, I wouldn't have to work. I'd be okay. You know, I'd be able to get by with paying my bills and just messing around, right? But the way I looked at it, at the direction that law enforcement is heading towards, and what validated this for me was my training and my quarterly training, I guess you can say, or I don't know, whatever it is, annual, quarterly, where you have to do this whole this training where you can't be discriminatory against certain types of people. And the videos that I had to watch for quote training was very pro trans that person, you know what I'm saying? The videos are very pro alphabet person, and I said to myself, dude, we're doomed. If they care so much about this, as opposed to like putting more time for criminals that actually commit crimes instead of just booking them and releasing them, like, we got problems here. And I'm just a poor old deputy, and I'm in the bottom of the freaking totem pole here. So I had to leave. Because the job would have killed me either way. Either out in the field, right? Or I would have died from some kind of disease, some kind of sickness, like cancer. Because my understanding is with cancer, it's very stress. Like it's stress is the one that produces your body to go into like I don't know, some kind of acidic thing, and that produces a lot of, I don't know, stress. You know, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. I'm just kind of spewing things out of my mouth right now. J Bell says, I was never at home. I worked my ass off while he played video games, except he did work 10 24-hour shifts at fire department. That's 20 days off a month. Well, you know, being the line of work that I did, and it's stressful, especially if you're working nights, man. Like, I get it where he's just wanting to relax. I totally get that, because on my days off, I didn't want to do shit. You know, I did not want to do anything but just chill or do what I wanted to do. So I can kind of get it. But I also thought to myself, look, I got kids, man. Like, I need to take my kids out. We can't be stuck in the house. So I don't know. You know, maybe he's the type of dude that he likes to just chill at home. We always went out a lot. You know, we also enjoyed eating out a lot. We did. And we still do when we can, because now I don't have a job and I'm kind of doing this, I want to say, full time on top of my DJ thing. It's tough to be able to do the things I used to, but I'm finding a lot of value in what I do now, you know, and there's a lot of meaning to what I'm doing this now. So as far as the police work goes, it you know, in the beginning of it, I was like, yeah, I want to serve my community, do the right thing, you know, do all that stuff. And then come to find out that this shit wasn't what I thought it was. And I was like, yeah, this is just a paycheck now. So it's unfortunate, because a lot of great people become that way in that line of work. You know, they really want to do something that's good. They always get shot down because they're either not in the circle, or, you know, they just, you know, you're like, a lot of decisions are made politically, and that's wrong. Like, you should make decisions you should make policies and all that shit based on what the law is, not what you think can advance you politically and shit like that. That's just my opinion. Okay. It's just my opinion. Hey, Fisherman 12. Thanks for coming back to the bar. Haven't seen you in a minute. Have not seen you in a minute. WC Crane says, I work because of circumstances. 26 weeks out of year, payrolled 52. Had chance to make 100K more, but would always be away. Same here, man. Same here. There was 1 year that was really good. It was really good. But at the same time, I was like, "Whoa, dude, what happened to the money?" It was really good, but was it really good? Because my relationship with my family was shit. So, I had to kind of take a step back and reevaluate what really meant the most to me. Was it my money or was it my family? Because a lot of people are misguided about how they mix happiness and success with money. I mean, money could be a part of happiness and success, but I think for most part, if you have a tight-knit family and, and you guys enjoy your company with each other, because I love chilling with my family. I love hanging out with my family. We do a lot of things together. Like this whole DJ thing this whole DJ thing that I have, it's all family based. Like my daughter and I, we both DJ, we both DJ. And my wife, she helps out too. She helps out. She kind of manages certain things. And this is a whole family thing. So I love just being immersed with my family. It's the greatest thing. It's the greatest thing ever because I never had it. And everything that I wished it could be, I made it be. So, yeah. Tracy PCB says, I can't stay any longer. Have a long trip tomorrow. Should already be sleeping. Well, thank you for coming by. Thank you for spending a little bit of time here. Enjoy the company. I always do. But wanted to stop by and send you love to you all. Well, how sweet of Tracy PCB. Let's see. It's becoming a hallmark PBTR. What's PBTR? Let's see. Tracy says, prayers to Papa Woe and family. Y'all love one another. Yes, and I did hear about that from Tracy. I did hear about that. Thank you for letting me know via text. I don't know anything about it. I heard about it from Tracy PCB, but don't know anything. I will definitely keep Mama Woe in my dailies now and her family because, when one goes in the family, you have to pray for the whole family, and that's what I will do. The Grouch says, man, he really likes lemons. I do? I just finished the drink. I just did. Tracy PCB says, yeah, I can taste the sour from here. Are you serious? Do I really sound sour? I'm sorry, guys. I know what you guys are alluding to. Well, then let's do this. I'm sorry. I just went off talking without observing what's going on in the bar. And I'm also observing the chat log here. So you got to understand, man, like this is a lot of things to observe here. I got this to observe. Matter of fact, let me see how the other streaming, you see, I don't have that much in other places. Like I'm streaming live on Twitch, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and YouTube. Dude, I got a big circle in YouTube, big circle on Twitter, big circle on Facebook, but I got one in Twitch. Wonder who it is. Let me go find out. Let me go to Twitch real quick. Let me go to Twitch because I don't want to be all stuck up, I like to be friendly with all the patrons to the bar. Oh, there's nobody. Hold on. It says one person, but I don't know. Hey, what's going on, Deluxe? Thank you for hanging out. Just for that, I am going to type back at you, my friend. Good evening, brother. There you go. Now you don't feel alone there. All right, let me go back to the bar here with the chat log. Let's see. WC says, teacher, I was in children's life so much. Tracy PCB says, wait, it is an orange, just not a very sweet one. Oh. D. Nikki Sandals is asking what's going on with Nana Wo. She apparently she passed, from what I've heard. I can't confirm that. I really don't want to get into people's business when it comes to that, because I understand. But if it is true, and if what I heard is true, then I will definitely include them in my prayers for sure. I just don't like to ask about people's business. I just think when you gotta leave them alone. The Grouch says, I was working. I was a workaholic with my first child, and I so much regret it. Now I'm starting over, and I put him first. Good for you, Grouch. Sometimes we have to go through that time where we have to realize it. We just do, because I didn't I wasn't thinking like that. I really wasn't thinking that way. And then what got to me was every time I was off and I tried to give my daughter a hug, this is when my daughter was like a very little baby, like 3 or 4, the age of wanting to always hug him. I mean, I still have that feeling, but my daughter now is like pushing me away all the time because she's 10 years old, But it took me so many of those rejections from my little girl in order for me to rethink my life. And, I said to myself, like, I want great memories with my daughter, right? Because I want my daughter to remember me as a really good dad when I'm gone. And I want her to always fall back into the values that I taught her. So I had to make sacrifices, I stopped working overtime. And that was a big sacrifice because I was making a lot of bank doing overtime. I really was, but I didn't realize I was paying in another way, So I'm very happy now. I don't make that much, but I'm very happy. I'm very happy because my family, man. Oh, do I love my family so much. I really do. And I think it gets to the point where both my kids and my wife would be like, damn, can you just go somewhere? But hey, I'd rather have that feeling than to just, yeah. Okay, Tracy PCB is explaining that. The Grouch is laughing. Hey, what's going on, DJ Krusu? Thank you for coming to the bar. That's my best friend, guys. That's the best friend I ask. Like, hey, what's white privilege? Because I'd like to know. Because I don't know what that is. Neither does he. He doesn't know what white privilege is. He doesn't. I don't know. Half a day, I finally caught the Charlie Victor, aka. Well, it sucks. How was your experience with it? Because my experience was real bad. It was horrible. So bad. Like, I didn't eat for 5 days, man. I tried to eat that first day, but I just could not eat. DJ Cruces says, make sure you say I like Trump. Tracy PCB says, and with that, I must be getting to bed. Much love. Well, thank you for hanging out, Tracy. Thank you so much. Angel Fuck says, good evening, by the way. Haven't seen you in a while. How have you been? How have you been, my girl? I am so sad. Yeah. I that's number 2 that I've heard of here in this community. But we still have to move on, and we still have work to do. We all have work to do to make better, but I will definitely be praying for Mama Woe, Papa Woe, and their whole family. definitely. Let's see. Tracy PCB says, I think we have all chatted with them a lot. They are great people. I never really got a chance to chat with them, but just being in this community in itself, I think a lot of good people are here. Tracy PCB says, so reach out to Papa Woe in the coming days. I'm sure he would appreciate the love. I'll try to. I don't get on the platform much. I only come on here most of the time to do my streaming stuff and also just to show support for a good friend of mine who's another content creator here, Mr. C. Love the man to death. He's like a really good friend of mine. So, I do my best to support him, and I do my streaming, and I just leave it at that because I have other things I got to do. Like I got to start, you guys notice that I'm streaming on other platforms now because I'm trying to grow this thing. Thank you for shooting the link tree out there, Kiss. Thank you so much. By the way, people, if you go to my link tree, there is a link to my merch store where I'm having a 10% off of my merchandise using the discount coupon corn at checkout. Corn with a C, not with a K, not with Sea Dragon would want you to think. It's not corn the band. It's corn that you eat. So 10% off. I'm in the works right now of getting a limited edition t-shirt printed out. Man, this concept that I have, I have to give thanks where thanks is deserved. Because the concept I have I took a little bit of the concept from Kiss. She gave me a little bit of an idea. Just a little bit of an idea, which is, I think, enough to get this whole thing going. But I really want to thank her for making this thought cross my mind as far as the idea for the limited edition shirt, because I think this one's going to be cool. I think it is. I even thought the one that geez, I'm losing my memory here, and I feel so embarrassed to lose my memory here. Philly Q. She's the one who drew one of my other designs, and I thought that was a cool idea, but I don't know. Apparently people are not. I don't know. Anyways, people are not like checking out my stuff. Dinika Sandal says yes, great couple of people. The Grouch, okay. Tracy, I'll do that. Okay. Tracy says, if you ain't been in the foxhole, you missing out. No, I agree. There's a lot of great people up in here. And I have met people. There's a very few people that I've met here at the Dallas Roundup, to be honest, last year. That was a great time. That was such a great time with the Dallas Roundup. I got to shake the hands of very, very cool people. And yeah, that was just a great time. Thank you so much for the can, DJ Kurisu. China. Okay. We got it, man. Thank you for that, Kiss. Thank you so much, Kiss, for dropping the link. Okay. Now we got to get to another news article here. No one's complaining about the pour of the whiskey, though, huh? You guys like that video, don't you? I like it. It looks cool. It looks real cool. Let me see. How about this video? There we go. Yeah. How about that one? All right. Let me set this up real quick here for the next article. Try closing that. Let's go here. Okay. This I think is a little bit more. It's like a what the F kind of article. But let's get to it. Let us get to it. All right, here we go. This one's by another of my go-to websites here called stupid.news. This article was written back on the 26th, which is today. This was written today, today by Arsenio Toledo. Article reads, Biden bans unvictored truckers from entering the U.S., accelerating collapse of supply chains. Dude, they're doing this shit on purpose. Let's just face it. Let's call it for what it is. They are literally destroying the country on purpose. They are. Brace yourselves, like the collapse is coming. I'm just letting you know. Like this, I mean, if you look at this. Why are they blocking him? That's kind of dangerous, dude. This guy's driving a truck and he's got that mask on. Like, how's he gonna breathe? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Is he by himself though? Like, really? Because I see a lot of that when I'm driving. Like, people by themselves in the car wearing that stupid thing on their face. Like, really? I don't know, man. Some people have just lost it with this whole muzzle thing. They really have. Anyhow, the administration of President Brandon is now requiring all non-U.S. citizens entering the country, including Canadian. Wait, what? This doesn't. Okay, this makes sense, but doesn't make sense. Including Canadian and Mexican truck drivers, to present proof that they are fully victored against the Wuhan Charlie Victor 19. This move is guaranteed to make America's supply chains crisis even worse. You think? Okay, so here's what I don't get. Like, they want the truck drivers to be victored, but not the illegals pouring over the border to be victored. Just a thought, right? The Department of Homeland Security announced the change in policy on January 22nd. The DHS will require that non-U.S. individuals entering the United States via land ports of entry or ferry terminals, or really, how about the border, dude? Along our northern and southern... That's bullshit right there, dude. That is a lie. DHS is lying, dude. Straight up. And that's just my opinion. My eyes don't deceive me, because that's not what's been being told to us. Along our northern and southern borders, be fully victored against Charlie Victor 19 and be prepared to show related proof of being victored, said DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas. These new restrictions will apply to non-U.S. individuals who are traveling for both essential and non-essential reasons. They will not apply to U.S. citizens, lawful permanent residents, or U.S. nationals. The change, which was first announced in October last year, makes American land and port border policy align more closely with the victor requirements already in place for non-U.S. citizens entering the country by air. Oh, really? Because I was traveling. Oh, well, yeah, I guess. Non-U.S. citizens, nationals, permanent residents, or immigrants entering the country by plane must be fully victored and present proof of recovery from Charlie Victor 19 within the past 90 days, or a negative Charlie Victor test taken no more than 1 day before boarding. These updated travel requirements reflect the Brandon Heels Up administration's commitment to protecting public health while safely facilitating the cross-border trade and travel that is critical to our economy, claimed Mayorkas. Vaccine mandate. Oh, gosh, I said it, didn't I? Victor mandate to make America's fragile supply chain even worse. The impact of this Victor mandate is expected to be felt most acutely by the US-Canada freight market. Before the Victor requirements, around 160,000 truckers employed on both sides of the border handle cross-border freight. 75% of them are Canadian. According to the Canadian Trucking Alliance, CTA, the Victor mandate could prohibit an estimated 12,000 unvictored Canadian truck drivers. You see how I have to play these dumb games with these words? From entering the United States. You guys know. I mean, if I wasn't streaming on other platforms, I'd be straight up just saying them. But I'm on other platforms. I have to grow. I have to expand. That's just the way it is. The American Trucking Association's ATA believes 10 to 15% of its truckers that handle cross-border freight may leave as a result of the mandates. Dude, so this is all on purpose, man. I mean, that's the only logical reason I have. It's all done on purpose. You watch. The Victor mandates adds pressure to an industry that is already under significant strain. Yep. With many fleets operating significantly below full strength, capacity has already tightened, and the price of hiring a trucker on the spot has surged. No, I see that too. You know, if I did have a license, I would, but I don't think that's my calling, though. I honestly think God put me behind this mic for a reason. He did, you know. I've said this many times. Like, this wasn't one of the things I ever wanted to do, let alone talk to a bunch of people. Come on, man. The supply chain is already fragile, so it puts all of us in a precarious situation, noted Dan Ainwincher, CEO of Challenger Motor Freight, a Canadian trucking and logistics company. The CTA said it remains engaged with U.S. Customs and Border Protection and contacts south of the border regarding enforcement of the U.S. Victor mandate. Bob Costello, chief economist of the ATA, said the organization is very concerned about the mandate. Canada is our largest trading partner, so any disruption at the border will certainly have consequences for the U.S. economy, whether it is the auto sector or other manufacturing products or consumer goods, said Costello. Brian Hitchcock, the owner of MBH Trucking in Michigan, a trucking company whose main source of income is hauling diesel exhaust fuel back and forth from Ontario and Michigan, believes he will lose around 40% of his revenue because only 5 of his 30 drivers are victored. So it's not even a matter of, I mean, I'm pretty sure people will sign up for the job, but it's a matter of whether they're going to get victored or not. Wow. Oh, wow. We're in trouble, folks. We are in trouble. And I'm not trying to do anything to scare people, but hey, they're writing about it, you know? And it's, I'm going to continue reading. And it's all because we can't cross the border, said Hitchcock. It's affecting every sector of what we use in this country. Hitchcock, also the interim executive director of the Michigan Trucking Association, said that of the 15 other trucking companies he has spoken to, 75% of their combined 400 drivers are unvictored. How do you force a mandate on a bunch of truck drivers who have been out there on the front lines for 20 months and never asked for anything, said Hitchcock. They were the ones that kept our economy moving and supplies going. So you never ran out of food. This is unfortunate, man. It's really sad. I mean, I don't even think that this is like something to be mocked about. You know? Because they're bringing the supplies to us. Dude, it's gonna come to a point like you're gonna have to freaking hunt your own food. It really is. Let's go back to the bar. Let us go back. There we go. Now let me go back to the bar. Let me see here. All right. WC says, funny thing is one of my adopted daughters gave me a grumpy coffee mug. That's funny, man. That's funny. Tracy PCB says, I gotta close this out now. Y'all keep talking and I keep listening. You gotta get some sleep. You gotta get some sleep. I mean, if you gotta be somewhere in the morning, please do take care of you. You need to take care of you. I mean, it's all fine and dandy to hang out with us, but at the end of it all, when it comes to you, you got to take care of you. So please, if you need to get some sleep, please get some sleep. Please do. This place is always going to be here. Like, you can come back anytime. Anytime. That's what they got replays for. Good night, Tracy PCB. And yes, yay Dallas. I had a great time there. I really did. That was cool. I wish I went to the Vegas one, but hey. Maybe another time when they come back here to Texas. Who knows? WC says, raised 3 girls I call my own, 2 natural, 1 adopted, plus many a wayward child. My wife and I house was a safe haven neighborhood watch house. I've heard the stories, man. And it's great. That's good that you're very family oriented, man, especially with all the stuff that you've been through. You still were a very family oriented guy, man. That's very respectful, man. Like, that's something to be said right there. D. Nicky says, I'm going to try and go back to sleep. Much love, fam. Have a great night, y'all. Well, good night to you. Thank you for visiting the bar tonight. Thank you so much. The Grouch79 says, have a good evening, Sandals. Much love to the hubby friend. Let's see. Grouch says, Road Warriors losing their jobs is it is, because how are we going to get, like, when we go to the store, people don't realize that a lot of this stuff is shipped to us via truck. Like, can you imagine going to the grocery store and not seeing, like, just seeing empty shelves? I mean, for me, I've already saw this type of thing coming, so I have enough for like half a year, you know, and I'm pretty sure I can stretch that out to like another, like, I don't know, a total of 8 months for my household. But to be honest, like, I can't, like, you can only store so much food, you can only store so much water, you can only store so much stuff. You're gonna have to be mobile. You have to be mobile, and you're going to have to move around, because if you stay in one place, dude, people are going to be coming, and I don't know. You know, maybe it's just me watching too much Walking Dead, and I don't know. But you got to be mobile. When stuff like this happens, you got to be mobile. Like, you can't stay stationary unless you're out in the woods or something, out in the country. Then you can kind of be stable for a bit, but like in an area that I live in, dude, you gotta move. Like, you gotta go. Just saying. DJ Cruz says there's a major trucker protest going on in Canada. Well, I believe it after reading that article. You know, all because of the whole Victor situation, man. All because of the whole Victor situation, and I don't blame him. Like. But then again, you know, you got a choice. You can. I don't know, man. It's a mess. This whole Charlie Victor thing is a whole mess. I mean, it's messed up. It's definitely put more than just a wrench in the gears. It's put so many. It's ruined a lot of lives, in a lot of angles, and it's not just work related, but in different angles too. Like, it's separated a lot of people. Family members from each other, you know, all because of, you know, do you believe in this? Do you believe in that? I don't know. I don't know. How about this video? Bam! Open bar! All right. So what are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts to... I mean, it's, you know, I guess we can put that in the category of being stupid, but not in a way where it's entertaining. It's more like a hand to the face, kind of like, you know, and you're shaking your head thinking to yourself, like, why? I don't know. It's all a mess. And this is gonna eventually, you know, DJ Krisu, this is gonna affect where you live too, man. It's gonna eventually affect where you live because, shoot, supplies there, man. It's got to get like a literal boat has to go to you guys. So it's definitely gonna affect you guys too, because the trucks need to deliver to the boat, and then the boat needs to go. And if the boat don't have anything to go deliver, then you get nothing. You get nothing. So, man, it's a mess. This whole thing is a mess. Yeah, and I really hate to end the night that way. I really do. I don't mean to end it that way, man. I mean, but then again, somebody's got to speak out on it. And, you know, part of the show tonight was to speak up on things that normally wouldn't be news, but is news. And you know, to be honest, I think I've had a conversation with a guy that I used to work with in my old job, and he was even alluding to the fact of now people who are first responders and all that stuff that work in certain places have to get victored. It's come to that. So, yeah, it's just, we're living in times where things are about to change. And honestly, I don't think we can wait till the next presidential election. I don't think so. I don't think we have that much time. That's just me looking as an observer from the outside, you know? Which is why, and I've always said this and I always will, like, you need to get good with God. You really do. You know? But that's up to you if you want to or not. But as far as I go, and as far as what my goal here is I try to invite people with me on this journey. I do. 'Cause, you know, it's just one of those things that's been assigned to me. And I'm not going to force you to come. You're more than welcome to come with me on this journey and have your own journey as well. Because at the end, we're all going to be judged. We're all going to be judged. And I want to be able to, like, help people change themselves. You know? That's just the journey. That's just the journey that I'm on. And I really want to know who God is. I want to know who my Father is as far as God's concerned, you know? Because we can have all these knowledge and stuff like that and do all these studies that we do here, but we'll never know unless we walk that path and we experience certain things. And believe me, like, ever since I started this whole journey, and I've said this many times, like, I've experienced things that I couldn't even wrap my head around to any kind of logic. It just is, you know? It just couldn't be explained. And the only explanation could have been it was God's hands that was involved in it. So, yeah. All right. Let me go back here. Oh, no, not there. Here we go. Yes, let's go here. Matter of fact, let me just check here the other platforms real quick to make sure that, you know, Okay. All right. Well, that's all I got for tonight, guys. That's all I got for tonight. I am thinking about opening the bar again on Friday. I'm not sure though. I really don't know unless I catch a gig, which I'm crossing my fingers to catch one. But I haven't caught a gig. I've caught a couple. And but I've been doing a lot of my DJing on streaming on other platforms, and there's gonna be a day where I'm just gonna have to just let things go and just show my face and just tell my story. And I'm telling you right now, it's a story to be told. It's a story to be told. It really is. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got for tonight. The bar might be open on Friday, so if you haven't followed yet, if you haven't followed me on pill.net or Facebook or Instagram, Twitter, Gab, CloutHub, even subscribing to my YouTube or even my BitChute. I gotta give love to my BitChute, or check out my podcast, my old podcast stuff on Anchor.fm. Please do so. Check out the Linktree link. There's a lot of interesting stuff that I put out on my old podcast stuff, man, and I gotta start giving love to that again. I should be recording these shows so I can post them on my podcast stuff. I really got to get back into the whole podcasting part of my whole show, because I've stopped doing that for months already, and I got to get back into it. A lot of it is the same format as what I've done tonight. I go to these websites and find these interesting stories like stupid.news, and it's the same thing. I'll read the article, give my thoughts on him, and that's the podcast. So if this is the type of stuff you like to hear, check out my podcast at anchor.fm. And also, like I said, please follow me in all the social media outlets that are on my link tree, because I do give announcements of when the bar opens. And I think I'm going to be opening it up on Friday, but it's going to be strictly for the Apocrypha studies and also the angelic studies. The angelic studies, man. I know Whiskey Blue likes the angelic studies. He likes that a lot. And also the, delving into the Apocrypha too is a pretty cool thing. Thank you for dropping the link, Kiss. Thank you so much. And if I haven't said it yet, I probably did, and I'll say it again. My merch store is having a 10% off sale till the end of the month. It's the 26th already, so you got about 4 or 5 days left? I don't know, about 4 or 5 days left. So check it out, or else you're going to miss that sale. Discount coupon is CORN with a C. CORN with a C. All right. Well, I think I've said enough for tonight. My throat is getting kind of dry and irritable, I guess you can say, from talking so much. I really want to thank all you guys for coming by. You guys are what makes the show, because you guys come back for more and hang out with the bartender, and I enjoy the company. I really do enjoy the company. The Grouch says, interesting. What's interesting? What was I saying? See, I lost my train of thought here. Okay, yeah, I was saying, you guys are what make the show. Is because you guys come in here hanging out with the bartender. This is what makes the show. It's my interaction with you guys. Also, when I read the chats, and interact with you guys, that's what makes the show. The show. That's what makes it the bar, because that's what we do. We talk to each other. You may or may not have a drink. It doesn't matter, but we're having this great conversation and enjoying each other's company. I will read these articles from time to time when it comes to the Wednesday shows, but for most part, I like to push that relationship with God, because that That is the task at hand for me. Sea Dragon, hey, what's going on, brother? We're about to close up the bar. Our parole officers made us tune into your show. Who's AJP? Who's AJP? I don't know. Oh, Average Joe Patriot. Well, thank you. If you're around there, Average Joe Patriot, thank you for sending your people over here. Oh my goodness. This is great. This is awesome. The Grouch79 says, good evening, friends. It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Grouch, you know what? You got to come by more often and become one of my regulars, my friend. I know we hit it off a meeting through MPC's channel, and I hope to see you more often, man. I really do. I really enjoy having you around, and I really appreciate the gold pills that you've dropped, man. But more than the gold pills, it's your presence here that makes my day the most. Because look, honestly, it's these connections that I've made with a lot of you people out there that really makes me feel good inside. The money comes and goes, but the friendships that are made will last a lifetime. And I'm very, very, very grateful for that. Most of all. Thank you for the cookie, my friend. Thank you, Grouch. Thank you. Not necessary, but thank you so much for the support, because I do need it. But I don't force people to do it. It's up to them whether they want to or not. But I really, really am grateful for the help. Thank you so much. Thank you. C Dragon says, howdy y'all, everybody, AJP. Yeah, I heard that too, man. I did hear that too, and I'll be including her and her family in my dailies for sure. For sure. I see some influx of listeners coming in, but I have to close the bar because I have things I got to do in the morning. Tomorrow is going to be an actual busy big day for me, because I'm experimenting with something tomorrow, and it's a big deal for me. So I want to be able to get things set up the right way, and boy, do I have some DJ stuff I got to do. Let's just put it that way. The Grouch, thank you, my friend. He says, no, thank you, and God bless you and your family. And I really hope I see you here again, man. Whether it be here or on Twitch, it doesn't matter. Just having that connection, man. I'm grateful for it. Thank you so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said enough for the night, but I really appreciate you guys just hanging out. And, having these hangout discussions and sharing all these things with you guys is always a blast for me. So as I end every show, always be kind to one another, and if an opportunity presents itself to give somebody a hand up, please do so, because you will never know when you're going to need the hand up. So, with all that being said,
the bar is now closed.
I can't help but wonder if I'm under a spell. It's more than a passing notion. I've never fallen with such devotion. I can't help but wonder if it's only a dream. Am I naive, or can I believe that things are really as they seem? Can anyone explain how to understand what's true? I know I just can't tame it. Whenever I'm with you, I can't help but wonder if you wonder about me. 'Cause lately I can't help but wonder how wonderful this might be. Can anyone explain it? How to understand what's true? I know I just can't take it. Whenever I'm with you, but wonder if you wonder about me. 'Cause lately I can't help but wonder how wonderful this might be. 'Cause lately I can't help